Well, now on to, guess I put myself back where I belong, over here. Now on to some Corona nonsense. Amazing Polly. Here's a video from the wrap-up of the coronavirus pandemic planning event held when? October 2019. Sponsored by Johns Hopkins, the World Economic Forum, and, most importantly, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Aha! This is the fake narrative. Wake up. Here it is. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it.
The outcome of the CAPS pandemic in Event 201 was catastrophic. 65 million people died in the first 18 months. The outbreak was small at first and initially seemed controllable, but then it started spreading in densely crowded and impoverished neighborhoods of megacities. From that point on, the spread of the disease was explosive. Within 6 months, cases were occurring in nearly every country. The global economy was in a free fall. The GDP down 11%. Stock markets around the world plummeted between 20 and 40% and headed into a downward cycle of fear and low expectation. The outcome of the CAPS pandemic.
Wow, pretty interesting choice of words. This was October 2019. No coronavirus, no worldwide pandemic, and she's basically laying out exactly how things are fixing to go in just a few short months. From February to March, now we're in March. And the World Health Organization has officially declared a pandemic. Remember those pandemic bonds? $500 million worth? Oh, what's going to happen with those now? Who is and who isn't going to get paid out on those now? Who wins on that one? It's unbelievable. And then I saw a thing from Trump who said, this was a few minutes ago, I am fully prepared to use the full power of the federal government to deal with our current challenge of the coronavirus. This looks like fake news here. News8news.com. Yeah, I think it's fake. CNN masks were the first to go, then sanitizers. Now toilet paper. Shows a COVID-19 found in toilet paper. I think this is fake news. It's not any news organization. I think it was more of a joke. Everyone's stocking up on toilet paper. Everyone's stocking up on toilet paper. The hell's that going to do? If you're stocking up anything, it should be food and water. Doesn't even freaking make sense. In other news, who didn't see this coming? I'm pretty sure. Old Snip told you, let's watch old Hillary Clinton. Let's watch old Hillary Clinton. She's due for a deposition within like 2 months. 70 days at the time. Maybe that's now 60 days. Who knows? 2 months. Somewhere around there. Due for a deposition on Benghazi, on her email server. I think not only her, but a couple other people in her inside circle. And I said, okay, if you really want to know if this is a hoax or not, this virus, if she uses it as an excuse, oh, I can't make it, virus. And it may not even be her getting it. It may just be, well, there's a pandemic right now, Your Honor. I don't want to show up to the courtroom. There's public, Or she may say she's got it. One or the other. So, not to outdo her or anything, but Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, under the Burisma Ukraine scandal, is being told by the court, you need to come in with your financial statements for your ex-baby mama's, whatever, child support issue. And Hunter Biden can't make it. The lawyer for Hunter Biden told the judge, I want you to take a wild guess what I'm about to say. I may have just blown my cover telling you the story about Hillary Clinton. Hint, hint. Freebeacon.com. Hunter Biden pushes the skip court appearance, citing coronavirus and his pregnant wife. God, I'll tell you. Man, I'll tell you. This virus, by golly, it has helped the elite more than I've seen in my life. Hunter Biden's lawyer alerted the Arkansas judge presiding over the child support lawsuit against him that he will be unable to attend his scheduled court deposition this week, citing travel restrictions caused by the coronavirus and the approaching due date of his pregnant wife. Biden was ordered last Thursday to appear at the court on Wednesday, March 11th, for a deposition in the ongoing child support case, but his lawyer told the court in a Wednesday filing that Biden would be unable to attend. Defendant requests continuance of the hearing as he is unavailable to attend due to his wife's due date in 2.5 weeks or less and risks involved with travel, the new filing states. Biden's lawyers further argue that it is unreasonable for him to be required to travel to Arkansas at all, saying the appearance is, well, burdensome and oppressive. It is unsafe for the defendant to travel, as travel restrictions have been implemented both domestically and internationally, particularly on airlines, due to the coronavirus, the filing states. Setting aside personal endangerment, defendant reasonably believes that such travel unnecessarily exposes his wife and unborn child to the virus. California, in particular, has been the site of numerous reported cases of exposure, end quote, says the lawyer. And that's where he's been hanging out, I guess. He's got one of his houses out there. And yes, liberal Democrat-run California, Seattle, New York City. They're the ones that are calling pandemic, travel restrictions, quarantine. 6 more cases today. 2 more people died today. The coronavirus is unbelievably helping the elite. Like I said, if we get to Hillary Clinton on this one, and she cites the same damn thing, I said this a while back. I said, you know what, guys? I know I've talked about this in a few videos, including the one I was doing. I said, I need to go ahead when I'm done with this video. I'm going to do a separate video. Title appropriate. So it's a separate video so we can all search for this in the future. When I come back and we found out one way or the other, which I do think I'll be right, to be honest with you, whether Hillary Clinton used that excuse not to show up, because it would be detrimental for her in the deed state if she were to show up in court and have to testify about both Benghazi and the private email server. But she's 62 months away. She's got a couple of months. This one, he's due this week. You're supposed to be there this week. Oh, well, they just filed. Again, Biden was ordered last Thursday to appear at the court on Wednesday, March 11th. That's today. And this, when was this published? Yesterday, March 10th. I'm reading this. So he's due today, and the day before, I guess his lawyer sent that into the judge. The latest filing in the case also points to intense media scrutiny on Biden due to his father, Joe Biden's campaign for president. Quote, the tremendously elevated media scrutiny creates some physical risks and logistics difficulties with travel to Arkansas, invades the privacy of the defendant and his 8.5-month pregnant wife, threatens to complicate the court's ability to conduct a public hearing, creates a highly prejudicial environment from defendant, and cannot be in the child's or mother's interest in any way, the lawyers are arguing. Biden has already been declared the father of the nearly 2-year-old Arkansas child, but has repeatedly avoided appearances in court. Lawyers for the child's mother, London Alexis Roberts, last Friday, called for the court to hold Biden in contempt for continued failure to provide the financial documents, which is the most important part. Because when those are provided, we're going to see just what he's been recording down as income versus what he's really been making, such as $50,000 or $80,000 a month in the Ukraine. and then some. They do not want to have to show that. Oh boy, they don't want to have to show that. Quote, the defendant has continued to flaunt the orders of this court by failing to answer discovery, comply with court orders, and provide his financial information, lawyers for Roberts argued. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. What else do we have? What other news did I send myself about this? Yeah, I think we'll cover this one. So, this was posted Friday, January 2020. On, I was thinking it was not GitHub, Reddit, but I think it was one of the Anon forums. I kept thinking it was, I mentioned a few times on Twitter that I was Reddit. I don't think this was Reddit. Looks like the Anon forums. Pull your stocks now. Pandemic incoming. Anonymous. Friday, January 31st, 2020. Now I'm going to read this to you. This particular individual is in finance and investments. He says he knows somebody or family member, I think. I'll get to it in a minute where he says it. Oh yeah, I work in finance and have friends and family in the medical industry and field, including at CDC and one close friend at the World Health Organization. So granted, like a military, top-down orders, everybody's compartmentalized in every rung of the ladder, so to speak. The top knows everything. The second one knows only what they need to know. The third one only knows what they need to know. So if the very top knows this is going to be a big hoax, a big pandemic scare, everybody below them doesn't need to know that. They all need to know this is real, prepare for it. That's it. So just keep that in mind as I read this to you. One way or the other, this was planned. In Italy, as you're going to find out, the one making the biggest scene now, all of a sudden we're shutting down not just the top quarter, now we're shutting down all the provinces in Italy. Oh, we're shutting them all down. Oh, and the prisoners, we're shutting no travel, something with the prisons are shutting down too. And and in Italy, while we deal with this pandemic, we're stopping all mortgage payments. You don't have to make your mortgage payment for the time being. But don't worry, after we've destroyed the economy and all the jobs are gone, then you can start paying your mortgage payment again. Because I'm sure you're going to have a bunch of excess money now that you lost your job. Yeah, excellent. And maybe they'll implement, universal basic income. You know, we trialed it. We didn't ever think we'd have to do this. But since we're printing so much money out of control, since Brexit happened and UK's gone now, and we need to fill like $60 billion or some huge billions of dollars a year that we can't not fill, the EU's done. Again, coronavirus, help us out, buddy. So I'm kind of glad I didn't say anything about it 2 days ago when I was tempted to post, but I knew about this ahead of time. I decided against posting it on Tuesday that World Health Organization was about to declare a global emergency, but I've still had mixed feelings, and I can't be easily identified at this point, so I'll let you know that it's way worse than what you're being told. I'll preface this by saying I work in finance and have friends and family in the medical industry and field, including at the CDC and one close friend at the World Health Organization. For starters, the RO pronounced R naught is actually around 6. So the RO is 6, not 3. Meaning, I guess it's 6% death rate or whatever the hell it is. Again, most people who get coronavirus don't even know they have it. Some people who have a mild case of it, they just think they're sick, they're staying home, take a couple of days off. They're not going in to get a special test kit to send off to the CDC to get it back results to see if they have coronavirus. So many people are going to have this and not even know it. We will never know the numbers. So, it's 6% death rate, 3% death rate. No, it's 5%. No, it's 8%. Those are only out of the test kits being submitted. The mass majority of people won't even know they had it, therefore they're not even going to be tested. Anyways. Secondly, it's slightly more lethal in current form, with China covering up a lot of the deaths by passing them off as heart attacks, pneumonia, kidney failure, all sorts of official causes to hide the real numbers. CDC and World Health Organization are highly aware of this. You will also hear the phrase, confirmed cases. It's presently thought by epidemiologists that China surpassed 120,000 cases on Tuesday. Now, this would have been back January 31st, according to him. On Tuesday, at the lowest. It is also possible they hit 100K over a week ago. All they know for sure is China definitely had a minimum 120,000 infections by Tuesday. Again, infections, not deaths. There are very high-profile investors who've been silently pulling out ahead of time. Well, how do they know? How the hell did they know that this virus is coming? Travel and tourism, the hospitality and service industries, these are just the most immediate and obvious. Manufacturing is about to go on a wild ride. The only safe industries to invest in right now are the biomedical fields and plastics, oddly enough. Funny, Woo Woo Friend, one of the first things she said when this started happening was, you can make some money in the biomed industry. And she invested. And I think I did post that on Patreon. Virtually all other industries are going to be massively hit, and anybody in the know has been trying to do this as quietly as possible before the shit hits the fan, partly to avoid insider trading allegations, but more importantly, to not start a panic. This is also why the CDC and World Health Organization is hiding it. So far, they are concerned no matter how bad the disease is, a panic is always going to be worse. This is also why a lot of economists are downplaying it or outright lying to you in the next year or two. It doesn't make sense. Well, first of all, just to be fair here, they're making the panic sound bad on the TV. They're not hiding it. A lot of economists are not downplaying it. They're screaming, run for the hills. In the coming months, the disease is going to be sustaining infections globally, including sustained local infections in virtually every major metropolitan center on Earth by late May. U.S. CDC and World Health Organization are both projecting anywhere from 60,000 to 2 million deaths by early summer. Again, they are downplaying this because 2 million is not considered to be a lot of people, but that's under their assumption that they can stall the infections in every major urban zone. Again, these are numbers he's being fed by these organizations, that people he knows. And again, if there's an agenda, he's just going to repeat what he's told. But there's one key factor in here. That's why I'm reading you this whole thing. There's one key thing that's going to stand out. Again, they are downplaying this because 2 million is not considered a lot, blah, blah, blah. Now, for the bad part, they are expecting this thing to mutate further. Those results from the Australian lab are not good. This virus has a very high propensity to mutate into a highly lethal form, and World Health Organization is predicting a fairly probable likelihood that if it reacts, certain bat populations in Brazil that can jump to a 15% lethality rate. Again, here we go with remember the pig flu, the swine flu, the bird flu. It can jump to animal to human. This whole Wuhan virus thing. Oh no, it started off, wasn't it bats? Wasn't it some kind of bat thing over there too? It came from a bat. Then, okay, no, it didn't come from a bat. So far as people like the World Health Organization are concerned, who deal with numbers like that all the time, this isn't major, and they're more concerned about lying to you than that everything is not that bad, because their calculus is that more people will die from refusing to seek medical treatment for anything from cancer to heart disease or other illnesses from hysteria over getting infected with this coronavirus. Remember, the most optimistic prediction at this point is 60,000 people are going to get killed in the next few months. It's highly infectious with an R6, probable chance of further mutations, infectious during the prodromal phase, and it's airborne. The only reason you're not already seeing thousands of people confirmed outside of China yet is because the incubation period. But believe me, the World Health Organization is already talking about how problematic modeling the Chinese response in Western countries is going to be. And, here it is, the first country they want to try it out in is Italy. If it begins a large outbreak in a major Italian city, they want to work through the Italian authorities and World Health Organizations to begin locking down Italian cities in a vain attempt to slow down the spread at least until they can develop and distribute vaccines, which, by the way, is where you need to start investing. There's more to it, but that's the main thing. So on January 31st, someone's out here posting, which this same date, that one I read you, he made a few posts, same date. Let's read that. Let's read that last piece again. The only reason you're not already seeing thousands of people confirmed outside of China yet is because the incubation period. But believe me, the World Health Organization is already talking about how problematic modeling the Chinese response in Western countries is going to be. You mean because some Western countries don't have communist propaganda, fake numbers? In the first countries they want to try it out in country is Italy. If it begins a large outbreak in a major Italian city, they want to work through the Italian authorities and World Health Organizations to begin locking down Italian cities in a vain attempt to slow down the spread of, at least until they can develop and distribute vaccines, which, by the way, is where you need to start investing. So again, he works in finance. He's being told stuff from his insiders at the CDC and World Health Organization. Who, again, what level are they? They're not top guys. Are they in that compartmentalized layer B, layer C, layer D? They're not at the top of the pyramid, I can assure you that. Only the big clubs up at the top. Everyone else, you're on a need-to-know basis, and this is what's happening, and this is what we expect, and this is what our projections are, blah, 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 here's the numbers, da, da, da. So out of the whole entire world, think about this. Again, back in January, we really weren't hearing much of anything about Italy. Remember, it went from China? Oh my gosh, the next hardest place was Iran. The health minister of Iran got it. Oh my gosh, remember that? The big numbers were out of Iran. So it was China, deep state, Iran, deep state. Now all of a sudden, weeks later, we're now into March, and Italy's on the spotlight. This guy's posting this January 31st, when Italy was not on anybody's radar. Was no need to be. The first country they want to try it out is in Italy. They want to try what out? The only reason you're not seeing thousands of people confirmed outside of China yet is because the incubation period, but believe me, the World Health Organization is already talking about how problematic modeling the Chinese response in Western countries is going to be. And the first country they want to try it out is in Italy. Try what out? Exactly. If it begins a large outbreak in a major Italian city, they want to work through the Italian authorities and World Health Organizations to begin locking down Italian cities in a vain attempt to slow down the spread until they come up with the vaccine. Come get your vaccines. Oh, by the way, you guys are locked down. Yep. Hear me out, because this could happen. You better hope it doesn't, but this could happen. Sorry, sir. Papers, please. What papers? That you got the vaccine. Oh, I don't vaccinate. You're in indefinite quarantine then. Yeah, we don't vaccinate. It's against our religion. It's against my belief. It's against everything I think of. My family and I, we don't vaccinate. Well, sir, if you don't get the shot, you're not free to go. You're not free to travel. Like I said, thank God we got Donald Trump in the United States of America. If Hillary was here right now, what do you think would be happening in our government? We would probably be dealing with Italy 2.0. Maybe we'd be 1.0, they'd be 2.0. We'd be the first to go. Oh, we got Hillary over there. Oh, yeah, let's go. You want to travel? Sorry. Got to show us that you got your vaccine. No, I don't want that crap in my arm. And everybody I know says if that if the vaccine comes out, don't touch it. Do not get it is what they say. And I'm not going to either. You do what you want. So Your brokerage isn't expecting a time for the breakdown. I want to short the market. Will it begin to collapse in February? Replies, March. Final word, March. Final post, January 31st. Last post of that thread, March. Well, just for shits and giggles, let's look at the Dow Industrial Average, which is down right now 1,200 points again. And let's look at 1 month. And I'll share the screen. We were doing really good. February, mid-February, starting to get towards late February. And then all of a sudden we start going down. And here's March. Now we're in March. Okay? And this guy posted this January 31st. What's that old saying? Something stinks in Denmark. And it ain't coronavirus. Take care.